cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And if you do follow me, it may look a little different in my studio today, and that's because I am in Florida. So, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I have two quick cards for you today. We're going to create one together, and then I'm going to share one. And we have a thinking of you card and a get well card. And those seem to be cards that I often make and send and that I need. So if you need a get well card or a thinking of you card, stay around and we're going to make a quick and easy using the hand penned petals bundle. Before I turn the camera down, I just wanted to let you know that today is Tuesday, October the 18th, and I am live. So um, if you're watching this live, say hi and let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today, Stampin' Up! Has refreshed the clearance section. So you, in the description below, you can find my shop and go over there and check out all the clearance items. So, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you click that bell, you'll be notified when I go live. Let's go ahead and do a little stamping. I'm going to turn some more lights on. And here is my host code for those of you that want to place an order with me this month. All right, so today we're going to use the hand-penned petals. And this stamp set I really like. It is in the annual catalog. The sentiments are thanks, anything is possible, congratulations, feel better, friend. And I'm going to share a card with the sentiment, feel better, friend. But today I'm actually going to use a different sentiment from a different stamp set. And it is the go-to greetings. And I really like this stamp set because not only are there several different sentiments, but also different sizes. So we have happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, thank you. But again, we have thinking of you, happy birthday, hello, just a note, so like in 2 or 3 different sizes. Hi, Vera, good to see you. So we're going to use thinking of you from the go-to greetings. And I will be using the pen flower dies that go with the stamp set. But actually, the stamp I'm going to use today, if you do not have the dies, you could easily just use your scissors and cut out the floor image that I'm going to use. But these are all the dies, except I've already pulled out the one that I'm going to use. And for today's card, I am going to use stylish shaped dies. These have circles and squares, and then we have labels. And I am going to use this label here. So you have 4 labels. And I'm going to be using this one for our project. But again, if you do not have the stylish shapes dies, you could easily just use your trimmer and cut out your cardstock to make a label. So today we're going to use 2 inks, and that is the basic gray and black ink. We're going to use 4 blends, or actually 2 colors, but light and dark. And then I'm also going to be using this really pretty natural finish ribbon on our card. And the iridescent pearls. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So my card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I've already done that. I'm going to lay that aside. Then I have So Saffron cardstock, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to use the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper, and this is cut at 5 3 3/4. The Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper is in our July-December 2022 catalog, and it is on page 59, and it is just gorgeous. There's so many different colors, plus you get 48 sheets of Designer Series paper. You get 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So, and I love gingham. Now, our stamp set that we're using, the Hand-Penned Petals, is in the annual catalog. And in case that you're not aware, in the back of our annual catalog, there is a stamp index in alphabetical order. So I know I'm going to use the Hand-Penned Petals. So I can just look that up under the H, and I can see the order number, how much it costs, $22 in the United States, and I can find it on page 107. So again, I just wanted to share that in case you did not realize there is an index in the back of our annual catalog. And then here is the stamp set that we're going to use. Okay, I'm going to bring in a scrap of our basic white. I'm going to move that out of the way, and we're going to start stamping. So I'm going to use basic gray. And I'm going to start with this image here. And that is this image right here on our stamp set. So this image up in the corner on the left. And I'm going to go ahead and take my ink and just ink it up this way, because it's a little bit larger stamp, and so it's easier for me to do it this way. And I could use the black, Memento Black, but I want to use the gray because it isn't quite as dark as our black. Now, this is photopolymer. I could have grabbed the Stampin' Pierce mat, but I think if you press down really hard, like I did, you'll get a clear, crisp image. And then I'm just going to bring in our Oud Olive and So Saffron. So I have light and dark of So Saffron, and I have light and dark of our Oud Olive. And this really does not take very long to color, so I thought I would just go ahead and do that on camera. I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to color all of the little centers of our flowers with the dark. And then I'm going to bring in our light So Saffron. And I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to make some of the flowers a little bit lighter and a little bit darker. And then I'm going to come back with the dark and do a little blending, a little shadow. Now, I made a card the other day the same way, only I used the pumpkin pie for the flowers instead of the So Saffron. And then I'm going to show you a card that I did with those colors. So I'm going to come back with the dark, and we are just going to make a little shadow here on the sides. And then I want to make these little flowers up here a little bit darker. So I'm going to just go over them one more time. And then we are going to go right here around this flower. And then we're just going to go over those little marks that are already there for us with this dark So Saffron. And then I'm just going to kind of blend with the light. So I've changed to the light, and I'm just going to kind of blend that in. And then if you want to, you can, every time that you go over, you blend again, you're going to get a little bit of a different shade. I want this largest flower to be lighter, and then the smaller ones to be a little bit darker. Now I'm going to come in with my dark old olive, and we're going to do those leaves. And like I said, this doesn't really take very long. You just go right over. I'm going to go over the black marks that are already there. Then I'm going to bring in our light old olive. And you can use whatever tip that you want. It just, I think it's personal preference. And then it kind of depends on what you're coloring too. Now we are going to die cut this out, but you can see that you could take scissors and go around this and cut it out too. Now I can most certainly take my dark and come back in and change some of these leaves, but I'm using the light right now, and I'm just going to leave. Just going to go ahead and just color all the leaves with the light, and then it'll have that middle part that's a little bit darker that we did a few minutes ago. All right, so that didn't take us long, did it? Okay, let me bring in our little, this is our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to cut out that flower. So I'm going to put plate 1, plate 2, and then here's our die, and we'll place that on here. I always like to use a little sticky note tab just to make sure that I get it down right. So we'll get this lined up. And put a little sticky note. There we go. Grab the plate and away we go. It may shake a little bit since I have my camera on the table. Plates out of the way, and let's see the magic, right? So I get the sticky note up. There we go. And here we go. Isn't that pretty? And that was quick and easy. Okay, let's go ahead and put our card together, because it's, well, before we do that, we do need to stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to use out of that go-to greetings, thinking of you. And I've decided that I do want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to use the Memento Black. So I'm going to stamp this. And I did stamp a little bit too hard, but I think when we put this over here, it would, we run it through, we won't see those little black lines. But I already have our sentiment already stamped and cut out and ready to go. To save a little bit of time, since I was going to go ahead and color the flower for you. Now you can use either side. I mean, we could use this side, which I think that's what I said I'm going to use, but you most certainly could turn it over and use the wider, like plaid. But I'm going to use the smaller. So I'm going to add, first thing I want to do is to attach this designer series paper on my So Saffron cardstock. And then we're going to use some ribbon. Hi, Judy. Good to see you. So then I'm going to line this up as straight as I can and press that down. And then I'm going to bring in this natural finish ribbon, and it's in the, like I said, it's in the annual catalog, and I'm just going to lay it across here and then grab some scissors, and I want just a little bit on each side because I'm going to wrap that around. Now I usually glue my ribbon, but because this is so thick, or it's not so thick, but since it's so wide, I'm going to use a little tape. So you can use a little Scotch tape, or you can use glue dots, or you can use adhesive, of your choice. And then I just want to lay this, want to make sure that I have room for how I want to lay that. And I think I'm going to put the ribbon about 3/4 of the way down. And I can kind of use that line right there. So I'm just going to turn it over. And I'm just using regular Scotch tape to hold that down. But before I do that other one, I want to make sure that I get it straight. So, and taut. So make sure, don't want to get it too tight, but okay. And now we can, if we need to, we can adjust it just a little bit. I think that's fine. And now we're going to adhere this to our card base. I know you've been busy, Judy, so I'm glad you found some time to jump on. Good to see you. Good to see you, Vera. So I'm just, and I want to make sure that I add some adhesive over that Scotch tape and the ribbon so it will stay on. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add this to our card base. And you could use whatever ribbon you have. It doesn't have to be the natural finish ribbon. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn our flower over and pop it up. And then I have another card to show you, and it is using a sentiment from the Hand-Penned Petals, and it's Feel Better Friend. And both of these cards I'm making with you today, or one I'm making and one I'm going to share, I already know who I'm going to send them to. So I know sometimes I get carried away with my dimensionals, don't I? But since I'm going to be mailing them, I want to make sure that they will stay on the card. So we'll bring our card back, and I'm going to turn it this way. So these leaves are down here. You could turn it any way you want. I want the leaves to be a little bit on the ribbon, and then the rest of it on the card. And I'm going to try to make it in the middle. Try to get my flowers so the same amount on each side. And then this Thinking of You, I'm going to pop it up right down here. And then we're going to add some embellishments. And then I have that other card that I used, pumpkin pie, the Get Well card, to show you. But what I like about this card, I think it is so pretty, and it is quick and easy. So the Thinking of You, we're going to, again, I want to try to get about the same amount of space on each side. There we go. Let's bring in these iridescent pearls, and it's going to slide them out. I kind of cut right here on the side. What that is. And then it just pulls right out. And I'm going to bring my Take Your Pick tool. This is such a handy crafting tool. And I'm going to use the putty end, and I'm going to use the larger pearls. And I'm going to just put one of those right there in the middle of our flower. And let's put one up here. And let's put one over here. So here is our card, thinking of you. And we most certainly could stamp another flower image from our stamp set inside our card and even on our envelope. Let me show you the Get Well card. And the Get Well card, I did use the sentiment from the Hand-Penned Petals Feel Better Friend. Whereas I decided to use Thinking of You from the Go-To Greetings. So here is my second card. And I used a circle shape from the Stylish dies, the same where we had that label here, and popped it up at the bottom. So which card do you like the best? I used the smaller iridescent pearls on the second card and the Feel Better, and then the Thinking of You card, I used the larger. So let me know which one that you like the best. Thank you, Vay. I'm glad that you like the cards. Guess I could come down a little bit so you can see them. I'm so glad that you like the cards. They're quick and easy. Thinking of You, Get Well cards. I know we all need those cards. And hopefully I'm going to try to be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and noon on Pacific time. So thank you for watching, whether you're watching this live or the replay. I appreciate you being here. I'm Terri Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. So Vay, you think you like the Feel Better one, the one on the right? Yeah, I like that. I know it's hard to decide. And Daffodil Delight is one of my favorite colors, but I used So Saffron today, and I don't know. I really like the So Saffron yellow too. So thank you for watching. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Take care.